this started. All right, here we have an article by James, and I think it didn't bring my microphone down. Hopefully, this sounds a little bit better. All right, now we have The Captain of the Messengers, an article written by James that we will go through and take a look at for content or any questions I may have. Okay. Okay. Inspiration for this profession was taken from The City of Ember by Jean Duprat. Let's take a. Oh, that's cool. Never did see that movie. Though I think it's a kind of movie I would like to watch. I think it should be messengers in the first header. It's plural. Well, yeah, I think I might agree that the apostrophe should be after the S as instead of before the S. Yeah, because if the title is Captain of the Messengers, then you should probably have it there. Okay. The captain manages the messengers in the sense of managing where they are stationed, as well as handling the finances of the organization. The captain can be identified by their unique black epaulets, while still wearing the typical red cape in winter or the red collared polo shirt in summer. Okay. Office. The captain can be found within the building called the Captain of the Messenger's office. Messengers that can't go to the station as their zone and segment would be saturated with messengers. Messengers that can't go to their station as their zones and segment would be saturated with messages would stay at the office for administration and counting of funds. The tasks of the administrator are things like logging the funds raised by the messenger and on what day, as well as calculating what the averages are for the week, month, and year. This is done on the upper floors of the office. Okay, there's no need to capitalize week, month, or year because we're not talking about a specific one. We can just do that. Okay. Stay. Messengers that can't go to their station. It just seems oddly phrased because the reason they can't go is there's too many of them. So I'd probably just say some excess if there are too many messengers. Just okay. As with all postal systems of the old world, parcels and packages can also be sent. This is done in two ways. At the post office that collect and I would just say the postal offices collect and deal with the postage cost packages, and packages. They are sorted into 6 piles. 4 of these piles are then sorted into 12 for each segment of zone 2 to 5, which remains. What remains is all the posts for either zone 1 and outside the city. The mail is then sorted into which region it is going to. Okay. Parcels destined for a segment of Burdencaster are sent to the office with the jurisdiction for the specific segment. So the office in segment 1 gets the parcels for segment 2 and 3 as well. Mail destined for outside the city is taken to a train station in zone 5 to be taken out of the city. The captain of the messenger's office can be found in segments 1, 4, 7, and 10. These can be found in each zone apart from zone 1, meaning there are 16 captains of the messenger offices and 16 captains. The office tends to be open. The offices tend to be open plan and arranged in a ring around the office floor. The captains themselves can be found on the bottom floor. Okay. The messengers in zone 1 are either delivering messages or simply passing through. Okay, offices themselves have the jurisdiction of the next 1 or 2 segments. So, for example, the offices of segment on the first segment will have this jurisdiction of sections 2 and 3 as well. Okay, we already talked a little bit about that up here. I still don't understand. Okay. Captain Lord work. Okay, then we have. Okay. I'm having a hard time following this article, James, because there's a lot of detailed information, and it's not. I personally do not feel that it is presented in a way that flows from point to point to point, and so I am having that challenge there, and then we have our messengers article, which talks about it as well. Rate picture. Okay, let's talk a little bit about how to organize an article. Okay, so you have the captain. Let's see, nope, okay. So you have the captain. Okay, so this is the word. Oh, you have captain of the messengers. And you have that article right there. And we need to think about how this could be structured. And you have so many ideas, but they don't seem to be, flowing from point to point. And I would suggest creating a mind map where you then say you have a list of all of the different points that you want to bring up in your article. And so what you would then do is start organizing, okay, which one are most important? You can label them as an A. Then you have your B's. You'll probably have more B's, and then you can have some C level things. And then you start putting, the information out there. So if you could have 4 A levels, and then you can have your B's down here. And then if needed, you could have a C. Okay, or you could have your C, okay, down here. And this will, there is a little bit of it's not that there's information overload. It's when you're looking at the different information, it's not being presented in a way that makes the most sense unfortunately, to me, not so this, take it for what it's worth. And so some of the information, what is the and what are the most important things about the captain? Duties, you know, the um, the the duties of the duties of them. What also is important? The organization. For example, you don't mention until, let me see if I can, oh, that's not going to work. Okay, you don't mention until clear down where, okay, in the middle here of the messenger's office, I think you got the point about the organization, so I'm just going to delete that. You mentioned down here that there are 16 messenger offices and 16 captains. Okay, that's good information to know. Probably would need to know that a little bit earlier up top, because we're talking about the office here. Well, okay, so you have an office. That to me is talking about the actual, physical location. But you're talking about a lot of things about jurisdiction. You're talking about the number of captains. You're talking about the sorting of the mail and a lot of different things that don't really have to do anything to do with the office. Okay? So what I would recommend is that you come back, list out, and as I drew before, list out every single point that you want. Make sure that, and then you say, okay, if you're talking about the office, here are the things that are actually about the office, about the captains themselves. Here's things about the captain, including that there's 16 of them. And then you can talk about distribution. Then in this section, you talk about the zones, the sorting of the mail, etc. And you can go through like that. Okay. And that way, instead of just having one main section with all of the things that are kind of jumbled in together, in my opinion, you would be able to have a better structure that would then you would then be able to follow, and then you just follow 1A, 1B, 2, 2A, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so this is I would really recommend you revisiting and talking and restructuring this, starting about by identifying all of the information in there and then resorting that information out. So those are my recommendations for this article, and any article, really, to be able to help make sure that the information is presented in a way that we can understand it better. I am a personal fan of the more headers, the better. Okay, with short paragraphs explaining each one. That's me. That is not everyone's cup of tea. Your mileage may vary. So, okay, there you go. Hopefully that is helpful. And yeah, best of luck. And reorganize it, rework it out, and then we can go through it again.